Hi everyone, I don't know if my maths is quite correct here or not, but I've been waiting for this day. You can see that these have now been running for 730 days, which is roughly 2 years. If you divide 730 by 365, you get 2. So these are just the normal non-leveraged bots, which was the whole point of setting up this experiment. Bitcoin is currently at an all-time high. It's just a bit below $88,000. I wonder if I can see the price anywhere here. Where can I see the current price? There you go. So the Bitcoin current price is $87,000. And you can see here, this is how the Ethereum, ETH, has performed over the last 2 years. So it's up around 136%. Bitcoin has performed up around 242%. So, that sounds, very, very good. You'd be, very happy with that if that's the case. The Infinity Grid bot, that's the one that doesn't really have an upper limit. That one's currently performing at 86%. And you can see on this one here, it's really important to talk about the ranges. So this one here, the range is 10,000 to 100,000. So if the price got over $100,000, then this grid bot would stop making gains. And just sort of sit there until the price drops below 100,000 again. So it is important when you're setting it up just to see what you think the blue sky upper limit might be, and who would have thought it would be at $90,000. So the DCA bot, that one has only done 35%. So I'm sure that I started them all with a similar investment. I think that what I might have done with some of these is reinvested some of the profits, or maybe I had a bit left over and put it back into it. So this is how they've performed. This is on Pi-Nex. I do think for running grid bots, I think Pi-Nex is probably the best platform, and it is pretty fairly straightforward to use. You can see, as I said, the best performer is obviously Bitcoin at 242%, and this is over a 2-year period. So the thing that I really wanted to share is how has the grid bot gone versus if I just bought and held. And so if I look at the current price up here, what I've done is I've gone into TradingView and I've said set my date range to 2 years. So you can see I'm back at 2022 through to 2024. If I make that say 12, just to be a bit more exact, and I go to, so you can see over that same period, Bitcoin's up roughly 420%. So if I get this little tool here and I say let's start here, and I say run up to where it is today, you can see that's at 428 type percent, just as rough numbers. So you would have been much better off buying and holding Bitcoin through this period, and it means that you've got to question whether grid bots are a good strategy versus buy and hold. I guess it obviously depends on what level you manage to buy at, but just looking at the numbers here, saying 172,000, 172%, 242% for the slightly two different grid bots. I do think that buying and holding would have been better, but it's always that question about would you have had the discipline to buy and hold and close your eyes, or if you went through some of these dips, would you have gotten out and sold, or what would you have done? If you scroll back a bit further, you can see that at no point when you held Bitcoin would you be behind. So even if you'd bought Bitcoin at the peak up here, you'd still be technically in profit. So almost anyone who's bought Bitcoin through its entire history, no matter where they bought it at, no matter what peak they bought it at, everyone would be in profit at the moment, which I think is kind of cool. It's kind of exciting. The big question, of course, is will it crack 100,000? I think the closest it might have got was 89,000. So if I have a look here, I can see that it got to 89,470, and not quite to that $90,000 level. Who knows what's going to happen? This whole thing could come plummeting down, and it's I think it's a fairly brave person who might buy any sort of quantity up around here. If it went back to that this sort of area here where it was sort of semi-sensible, I guess, that sort of previous area, it's a 30% slope to the downside roughly, and it'd be it would seem that it'd be more likely to head back than make another 30% gain up. But you just don't know. This whole Trump pump thing has just gone bonkers. The whole market's going really well. The stock market's doing, pretty well as well. So let's have a quick look to see how that compares. If you put your money into QQQ, and let's say also over a 2-year period, just for fun. So 2020, 2022, -11-12. If I go to, so let me just change that. So you can see the stock market over the same period of time is up roughly 80%. So over the last 2 years, if you put your money into stocks, you'd be up roughly 80%. If you put your money into Bitcoin, then you're up in the 400. So Bitcoin's just been an outstanding investment for anyone brave enough to have taken the punt and held through that time period. 2022-11-12. Go to, and so I'm hoping my maths isn't wrong, or my the way that I'm looking at this is correct, but as far as I can tell it is. So 422% for investing in Bitcoin versus pretend 80% for investing in the stock market. The grid bot's done a really, really good job, well and truly exceeded anything that I could get out of a bank, or property or any other type of investment. But it's certainly not as good as the whole buy and hold. And hindsight's always a wonderful thing, but if you bought something like this with a 5 times leverage, which is reasonably low risk, you'd be feeling pretty good about things. I should go and buy Ferrari or Lamborghini shares, because I suspect that there'll be a whole lot of Bitcoin holders that might be doing quite well. That's just to be annoying. Let's just have a look. Ferrari, maybe. I think their code is race. Let's just double check. I'm pretty sure this is them. Yeah, luxury sports cars. So this is Ferrari. So, over that 2-year period, let's have a look. 2022, 11-12. Go to. So, Ferrari's up 103%. Not a bad looking chart. Probably some upside to that. Their earnings took a bit of a hit. I don't think Lamborghini's listed, but Lambo. Yeah, I don't think they're listed. No, let's go Porsche maybe. Porsche International. I don't know what their stock code is. Let's see what this is. Ooh, that's bad. So if that's Porsche, they're getting trashed. Might be them. Yeah, automotive manufacturer, provision of cars, including the 911. So much better off holding a Lambo than you are holding a Porsche. So they're really getting beaten up. I read some or watched some YouTube channels that were talking about Porsche's just steadily going backwards financially, and their stock price certainly reflects that. Anyway, so there's a bit of a distraction, but the short version is I hope that there are people out there who've managed to do very, very well off this current run on Bitcoin, and you are buying all the Lamborghinis. So thank you for listening as always. Talk to you later.